Well, there are some changes this year, and actually there were some really late changes that didn't make it into the tax packages. So if you're still one of those taxpayers that receives a package in the mail, some of those changes aren't going to be reflected there, and you may have to go onto our website at irs.gov or come into one of our local offices and pick up some forms to help you file. Now, those changes affected AMT, the Alternative Minimum Tax, which was a tax that was created way back in the 60s that was supposed to affect higher income taxpayers at the time that it was created. However, it was never indexed for inflation. So now the tax was going to affect your middle income taxpayers, and people that normally would get a refund were going to have to owe money this year if these changes weren't made. So Congress enacted some changes, and they did it really late, the last week of December. So IRS had to reprogram a lot of their computer systems in order to make these changes work. So people affected by the AMT weren't going to be able to file until about mid-February. But now we've passed that point and everybody can file. Of course, the best way to file is by e-file because all of those programs have been updated, and any credits or deductions that you may qualify for, you'll be asked about while you're filing through the electronic programs. So it's a much more accurate way to file, and it's easier, and you get your refund a lot faster. If you e-file, you can get your refund within 2 to 3 weeks, depending on whether or not you ask for direct deposit. If you file by paper, it could take up to 6 to 8 weeks to get that money back to you. We've seen a real big increase in people wanting to file electronically. Actually, in Massachusetts last year, 57% of individual taxpayers filed electronically. So it is becoming more popular, but we still have a population out there that is a little bit afraid. You cannot still file directly to the IRS. You have to go through a third party who has to pass security and background checks to make sure that everything's going to be secure and that their system isn't going to be hacked into while they're trying to file your return. So we've had no issues with that at all at this point. We have many layers of security built into the system. Now, as far as not knowing how to use the programs, they're really simple. You either purchase a software package at a computer store and load it onto your home computer, or you can go to a preparer and have them prepare it electronically, or you can even, some people will qualify for free file. You log on to irs.gov, and if your income is $50,000 or less, click on the free file button. It's going to bring up about 20 companies that will offer free electronic filing for you. And you just follow through and answer the questions as they ask them. They'll ask, obviously, first for your name and your spouse's name and dependents and social security numbers. And then based on some of that first information that you input, it's going to ask you questions about credits and deductions that you might not even know that you qualify for. In many cases, you don't need to go to a paid preparer. If your return is simple enough, you could probably fill it in yourself by using one of the electronic programs or the free file program. We also have volunteer sites that are located everywhere throughout the state too. They're at community colleges, local community centers, sometimes at the libraries. And if you have a simple return and you're a lower income taxpayer, then they'll be able to help you for free too. We're still seeing some of the most common mistakes are some of the simplest things. If you're still filing by paper, you need to remember to sign that return. If we get a return that's not signed, we have to send the entire thing back, and if you wait to the last minute, then your return could be considered late. Especially on a joint return, you need to make sure both taxpayers sign that return. Some of the other errors are, addition and subtraction errors, or just overlooking deductions. And some of these things can be corrected just by filing electronically and letting the electronic computer do all the math computations for you. So it's still some of the more simpler things that we're seeing as mistakes, and people may rush. So you want to make sure you take your time, make sure you have all your documents together before you actually sit down and file. And many people are probably thinking about the rebates that they're going to be getting later this year. We have started putting some information on our website at irs.gov. You can just click on the tax rebate section, and it will give you all kinds of answers as to how much you might qualify for, when to expect it. We hope to start sending the checks out the first week of May. It's going to be based on your 2007 tax return, so people want to make sure that they get that return in timely. If you file an extension and wait till October, then your rebate is going to be delayed as well, because you won't receive that rebate until you actually file the return. Now, we do have a population that doesn't normally file tax returns that will qualify for the rebates this year, but in order to qualify, they need to file a tax return this year as well. So we're trying to get a special message out to people on Social Security benefits or veterans disability benefits. They're going to need to file a tax return if they have at least $3,000 in benefits that they're earning. And they're going to have to report that information on a 1040A. We have a special line that's designed where they can input that information, and then we want them to write on the top stimulus payment. so that we know that they're filing just in order to receive that stimulus payment. Now they'll qualify to get $300 back per person, so it's a good amount of money, and we're trying to get the word out there that in order to claim it, they do need to file that return this year. Give us a call if you need some assistance. We're at 1-800-829-1040, or log on to the IRS website at irs.gov. That's where you can get the most up-to-date information.